Yeah,
Too
I
many
just put everyone.
screens.
There we go.
Oh, I see it.
We are
Yep.
live.
Hi, everyone. Happy Monday after San Diego Comic-Con. Welcome, welcome.
Happy Indigenous People Day.
That's right.
It's the recovery and the
Yes.
FOMO are happening.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. New York Comic-Con. You were there for a day. I was there for 1,000, it seemed. But good stuff all around. We've got
Really
some
good
Rebels to
stuff.
watch. We've got
Yeah.
some Andor to talk about. We've got some atrocities to address with the Empire. Yeah, which on Indigenous Peoples Day feels important.
Appropriate.
Yep, appropriate for sure.
Mhm.
Yep, hello everyone. And we have to announce winners for our t-shirt giveaway.
Yeah.
That's gonna be exciting. Hi,
Hi,
Catherine.
Catherine. We see you're in there. Hair in my face.
I like this pink background that Jeff made. This is
Yeah, wicked
very, very
cool.
cool. I love this color. I'm gonna find the Pantone.
Make a shirt out of it.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of, I will continue to wear shirts until I run out. I've got another Rebels Revisited shirt. We'll talk about that later during the giveaway and the various types I have. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi,
Welcome,
Jennifer.
welcome. Also, I just loaded the Star Wars page on Disney Plus to get ready, and they've got some spooky stuff in the front. The Terrifying Tales is like second after Andor, so even on the Star Wars page, they are acknowledging that it's Halloween.
I think one of my favorite spooky Star Wars episodes is that episode of Resistance with the Kawaki monkey lizards and Poe Dameron. I love that episode.
I love that creature. And by the way, I
Yeah,
have a Mark Dodson story. So Mark Dodson was the voice of the original Salacious Crumb in Return of the Jedi, and I brought him to Star Wars Celebration in 2019, and he was
he's
a
awesome.
riot. It was so much fun, so nice. But yeah, we got to hang out at the bar like after hours and just like talk like people, you know. But yeah, that he can do the voice still, and we'll do it for you. And it's like the laugh, the cackle, like it's actually really disarming. It's like, oh Jesus. It's kind of like when people slip into their, when you hear Steve do a Zeb,
Yeah,
it's kind of his voice just a little deeper and a little gruffer. But Mark
yeah.
going into the laugh, and I was so, these conventions take a lot out of you. So I was just exhausted. I was like, oh God, it's happening. Like it was one of those like weird things where you feel transported.
Wow. And it must have been really loud because, he's a very calm and pretty easygoing guy, but when he just like laughs like that, it's kind of like Brad Dourif when he laughs in that Chucky laugh.
Yeah. Oh, and Chucky's back. There's so much content. I
So
almost
much
feel
TV, you
it's
guys.
so nuts. I'm just falling behind too. I was saying that I just rewatched Andor because usually I watch every episode twice, and I watched Andor again right before this, as opposed to rewatching the Rebels episodes because I've seen those enough times, so I know what's up.
Yeah, you know
Hi,
by heart.
Robert. We got Robert and Jen and Catherine
Hey,
and
Robert.
Jeff. Of course, Jeff is
Hi,
producing this tonight.
Jeff. Gotta
Um,
say hi to the boss.
we've got he keeps the ship running, guys. We are just the faces of this operation. The
Without
whole
him,
thing would
there's no
come crashing
us.
down.
Without
Um,
David, there's no us. They
Dave,
keep us going.
Spencer, yeah, Jeff.
Spencer.
They run the channel.
Yeah,
I saw we have reels now on Instagram. I saw that. I was like, oh,
that
how do
was
I add this
cool.
to my story? I feel so old sometimes. I was telling people at the con, I was like, my age starts with a four now. And like, I was like, not only do my knees hurt, my back hurts, my neck hurts, like my shoulders hurt, like my body's falling apart. But they were
Everything
saying
hurts
something
in
about
your
like
neck.
a trend on TikTok. And I was like, girl, unless they like ported it on a reel to Instagram, I have not seen it. And even then, I still have not seen it.
Hmm.
Like, there's no way.
My niece is like, get a TikTok, get a Snapchat, and I'm like, why? I have
Yeah.
enough.
That's embarrassing for all of
Yeah,
us. Like, by the way, I like TikTok. I think it's cool. I think there's some interesting stuff on there. I remember
I
when it
just
was
like
first
sharing
like,
everybody else's stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say I'm a lurker, but I don't even do that. Like, I really hit the Instagram reels. And I think the first time I opened TikTok was when my friend was like, "Oh, here's the guy like flipping the pasta." Like that was one of those things where it was like it just like went super viral for no reason. And I was like,
Yeah.
everyone I know can do that. Why is he's good looking, but like, is that what this app is about? I was so confused. And then all I got served after that was like people cooking food. So I had like a cooking TikTok for a hot second
I
where
just
like I
have
was just
cat
getting served
TikToks.
like, yeah, that's really what my Instagram looks like. It's all Star
Same.
Wars and cats.
Or
Hi,
Sandman
Sherry.
stuff.
Oh, and
Hi,
Sandman.
Sherry.
Oh, you definitely
Oh,
have to talk about meeting your
oh my
Sandman people.
God.
Who would,
I,
go
oh,
ahead.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
I
like we should
was,
lead with the story before we get into Rebels.
if you want to see me be verklempt, for lack of a better term, stick me in front of Tom Sturridge. because my first photo, I looked like Iman Vellani when she met Harrison Ford. I'm just like
That's
in the photo,
amazing.
and they made me retake it because my eyes were closed.
Oh,
But
well, that's good. Good they
he,
redid that.
but it was really cute, and I
Yeah,
was like, "Do I have to?" And they're like, "Yes, your eyes are closed. It's our policy."
yeah.
So I retook it, and I had my head down because I was trying to be all like model serious, like he was,
Hmm.
because he was just like totally in character for
It was
all
in
his
character.
photos,
Yeah,
totally
that's cool.
deadpan, totally dream. And I didn't look, I just looked way too excited to be serious. So, but he was a total sweetheart. Mason was amazing. Absolutely love them. They both were wonderful. I heard Boyd Holbrook was amazing. My friend Jazz met him,
Oh, very
and
nice.
he was really, really cool. So I really hope they do more cons because
Yeah,
I might need another photo, but
you got
but
to
it'd be
start a you got to start a piece like a
yeah.
poster for everyone to start
Oh
signing to
yeah,
get like the
that'd be
season
so
one
cool.
because Gwen's on there and they have so many Patton Oswald like
Yeah. I asked
yeah.
Tom how much fun it was to film that with Gwen because he said that was his favorite thing to shoot. And he's like, she just kept cracking me up. She's hilarious.
She's very dry, I hear. So I
Yeah.
can
Oh
imagine
yeah.
some like the 7 foot woman in these like wings that go to the end of the set. I don't know how much of it was practical versus digital, but
Those were practical wings. Every time they
yeah,
moved, they were digital, but they were actually
there was
part of
actually
her
a suit. I
costume.
believe
Yeah.
it. And she's a
And
strong lady. She can carry
she
those wings.
is
We've seen her in
tough
armor and
as
wield
nails.
sword.
Six foot
Yeah,
three. She's amazing.
yeah.
But all the parts where he's kind of like smirking at her, he's like, no, that was real. Like she just kept cracking me up. And I got a smile out of him and it was just like, oh, hi
We had Gwen
someday.
sign for us. I call Gwen like I know her. Gwendolyn Christie. Gwendolyn
Oh,
Christie, Ms. Christie,
she did Rhode
signed for
Island a
us.
few years back and I would
Yes.
have loved to have met her.
I was backstage in the green room. I actually only said hello for like a hot second because I wasn't there for a signing with her. It's when I had Hayden there. I guess that was 2018 or whatever it
Hmm.
was. And she was actually like very busy. She was like studying a script, and I don't know what it was for because I just have not really kept up with her IMDb page. But
It's
she
probably the
was
last season of Game of Thrones.
it could have been. She was
Yeah.
intense. She actually at one point was in a room with like a door closed, like just really focused, and then went out to sign. So she didn't sign anything for us at that show, but she's in numerous Star Wars sets. So you can find her autographs like pretty
Hmm.
readily available on eBay, both like photos and trading cards. She was in a good amount of stuff. And Hayden, of course, too. We got him in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting because it's like here's Hayden, here's Gwen. Like there's so many slices of Star Wars, and it just keeps growing. And now we've got this whole new cast from Andor. It's
Hmm.
unbelievable.
New and old. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
I'm liking Andor so much. Like even when it's slow, it's like there's so much tension.
Yes,
Like
that's the
what is
word.
happening? What
Yeah.
what is going to happen? Like everything is just building slowly. And it was crazy to see Mrs. Fig from Harry Potter.
Is that
And
the mom of
that's Cyril's mom.
Cyril's mom?
And
Yeah.
she goes from a crazy cat lady
Mm,
squib, a non-magical person,
yeah.
to this controlling,
She's scary.
high-aimed mom who is
She's a
horribly like,
tiger mom of some type.
yeah,
But it
she's
seems pretty
horribly
clear
abusive
there.
to his son. It's just tough
My
to
assumption
watch.
is like there's like an immigrant story there with like obviously she's living in the lower levels of Coruscant where the poor
Mhm.
people live. I saw New Rock Stars they were saying the sun reflection he's seeing when he's looking out the window is actually reflection off the taller buildings because they don't get
Mhm.
sun down there. I was like, oh Jesus, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So she probably was like, okay, you're going to do this important job now, and you're moving up the ranks, and you're bringing honor to the
It's the
family, and then he like
social
messed it
climber.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's definitely a climber, and there's definitely some shadiness too. There's some uncles who are probably in some nefarious things. I'm curious to see where he lands,
Yeah, I
especially when
was
he
like
still had the
mob
hologram
uncles.
of what he had a hologram of Andor like on his wrist. I was like, oh girl, you're gonna get yourself killed.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
That is
Oh
not
yeah,
good.
Sherry, if you don't recognize a British person, assume they were in Harry Potter, and then Ashley will tell you who because I'm not as close to that franchise. But yeah, it's very that or Game of Thrones. It's like which one did we see them in? And
I
sometimes
know.
both. The overlap
Yeah.
is big. Star
Yeah.
Wars, Harry Potter, and Game of Thrones all share like a pretty good Venn diagram,
Hmm.
especially in the current stuff. Like it's pretty amazing.
So one of the guys that was in the table read for The Force Awakens, he was also in the first Halloween movie in 2018. He was the blogger reporter.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
like that guy.
he's in House of the Dragon. He plays
Oh nice.
one of the Lannister heirs.
Okay. I
Actually, he
might
plays two of
watch
the
it.
Lannister heirs because they're twins. But
I'm on the
Yeah.
bubble, as you know. I've said this
Yeah.
numerous times on this channel. It's like I will not watch until they confirm season two, and I get good reviews for all of season one. I'm in that boat because right now it's like I have to be on top of Andor. I have to be on top of She-Hulk. I have to rewatch Rebels. We have Drag Race, like that's in every geography. There's like a list
Yes.
of like must-watch things, and then so like House of Dragons feels like a commitment. Rings of Power feels like a commitment. Like these are heavy shows that
Yeah, and
air
they're all
hour-long episodes.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think House of the Dragon did get renewed for season two.
Okay. We'll
And they
see how
just
it
did another
closes.
they just
Yeah.
did another 6 year time jump and I'm like, I gotta
Right.
keep track of these people now. It's like
Oh man,
insane.
I had to read something online to keep up with what was going on with Witcher, and I was like, look, I know that it's supposed to be complicated lore, but if I need to do homework to watch the show, you're
Hmm.
gonna lose me because I'm gonna try, but a lot of other people aren't, and you can only watch for like Henry Cavill in a hot tub for so long. Like you really need to like keep this simple. So, I found Witcher very confusing. And I think I watched it during the pandemic when like, my focus was scattered. Like as much as you had all day, you also didn't focus all day, right? You're just
Yeah,
absorbing content at like an alarming rate and you can't take it all in.
right.
Yeah.
And so did you find anything cool at Comic-Con getting to wander around? I know we
I
wandered around for like an hour and just looked at stuff, but
Yeah, I
anything
barely wandered.
cool?
You and I did the most wandering together.
I figured
Yeah,
I
that was
figured
the
because it was
extent of
busy.
my steps on the floor. I'm looking at the time. I do want to start our episode
Yeah.
now so we can close close to our usual end time, and then we'll start talking about Rebels, kids. I swear we're going to focus on the show at hand, and then we'll also talk New York Comic Con and T-shirts. Should we do the T-shirt winners at the break? Should we rope them along, or let's do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Let's
it
do that.
like yeah. We'll keep everyone waiting in anticipation. Um, all right, so we're looking at Star Wars Rebels. Oh my God, I forgot. I forgot to click into Rebels because on the homepage now, it's
Oh, so yeah.
like all the way at the top. So season one, episode
Six
six.
and
Yeah,
seven.
6 and 7.
So
Breaking
cue up your
ranks.
Disney Plus, kids. It's
Yeah.
happening.
Do you want to do the countdown?
Sure. Okay. So we'll start in five, four, three, two, one. Play.
One of the things we were talking about before the stream went live was that this episode could feel like a filler episode. However, it becomes very important at a later time. Like we find out like the character that Ezra meets will pop up later in the series. Like they bring him back in season 4 as they start like reassembling all of his allies, like all the people he touched and influenced and like cared about along the way, all form that little rebellion on Lethal to help them
Yeah.
free this planet. So this adventure becomes like a critical point. He's the one who rescues them when they fly in at the start of season 4 to get them under the tunnels to reunite them with Ryder Azadi and everyone else.
This episode shows you why networking is important in life, my
Yeah.
friends, both
Yes.
professionally and
Yeah.
personally, because who you help can help you later on.
Yeah. There's also like a real sadness to this episode. Like, look at these
Oh,
kids here, right? There's 8 of
yeah.
them. They're all about Ezra's age 16, 15, 14, whatever
15,
it is.
yeah.
14, 15, 16, 17. They're all not legal adults in America and mostly on Earth, right? So, but they're enlisting to become stormtroopers and they're going to serve the cause of their emperor. That's horrifying.
And it's bad.
Yeah, and I know that like they do it with the First Order where they abduct babies. And look, I know the Jedi abduct babies. We can have a whole conversation about that. You could argue their cause is grand, and they really believe what they're doing is the right thing, but so does the Empire. But this training is actually really intense. Like people can be killed during this training. Like I'm not saying they're using live ammo, but they shoot blasters.
It's pretty harsh. And I think
Yeah.
Ezra looking at himself in the reflection of his helmet, that's important too, because it's something that he never really wanted to deal with. But
Mhm.
these kids are like, I guess they're willingly signing up for it. So it's just kind of
Certainly
like
seems that way.
what makes you want this life? Like
Yeah.
you
Well,
could
how much of it is
lose,
coercion, right?
yeah, and propaganda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much of
And
it is freedom if propaganda wins you in or you have nothing else? I mean, you can make that claim for any military cause, right? If you can't afford college or housing or any career
yeah.
field, then you're going to be homeless. Do you enlist in the military? I mean, I will say Marvel handled this really well in, I guess, Age of Ultron after the fact when Captain America is talking about, it's in Age of Ultron when he's talking about Wanda and Pietro signing up for scientific experiments to better themselves, to be soldiers in the army. And he's like, yeah, what kind of crazy person would do that? And it's obviously what he did for the war effort. So the comparison between Captain America and then the
Yeah.
villains of Age of Ultron, exactly on paper, the same thing. Just is what side are you on?
Yeah. And what causes are you fighting for? Like, what are you believing
Yeah.
in? Like, and the same thing with Steve. Steve signed up for this experiment to stop, Nazis and
Yeah.
genocide in the world. What are they fighting for?
Yeah.
So it's all about that.
Um, Wanda
And
would
these,
tell you that she's trying to save her country from Stark, who's a war
mhm,
profiteer, warmonger, right? The father certainly was. Tony
mhm,
wasn't much better. He's a
yeah,
really complicated. I love the character of Iron Man. He's so complicated, and I
yeah,
like that it's not very black and white. I like that they give him a lot of conflicted past to deal with that he doesn't really fully address, and we're all supposed to just like forgive him. Um, we do it with Callus. We absolve a lot of his sins once he joins our side. There's probably a conversation about like what do you need to do to redeem yourself.
right.
Meanwhile, this is crazy. None of these kids have the Force except for Ezra. Like you're gonna break a hip, man. Like I know
And
they're
like,
kids and they've got like
yeah.
flexible bones, but
And these
like
two clowns are like, oh,
yeah,
that Morgan kid is impressive, maybe too
yeah,
impressive.
yeah. What was Ezra's code name in this? Did you catch it? I
Dev
forgot.
Morgan.
Dev. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. DM. Yeah. Morgan Kell. There we go. Course records.
Yeah. Oh, this guy.
Yep.
These clowns. They kind of remind me of oh, I can't remember the name of the comic. Sam and Twitch from like the Spawn comics in the 90s. My fellow nerds will get it. It was just like, get the skinny detective and you get like the
And
big
the chunky
hulking
one.
detective.
Yeah.
And they would just solve the craziest crimes and it all was in the Spawn universe. So
Did you see Chopper in disguise over there? Look at that.
oh,
Oh my
look
God.
at him.
Chopper's many disguises. We have to do a listicle on that, like the many disguises of Chopper and his
Yeah.
infiltration. This is another infiltration episode. We talk about
We
this a
could do it
lot.
like a
Yeah.
disguise fest where we
Oh
just
my
like get all
God.
the
Yes.
best episodes of like the
Yeah.
Rebels crew in disguise. There we go.
I love
Idea for
that.
another time.
There's so many good ones. Funny enough, I was watching. I do this to myself, and it makes me cry. Like the Rebels recon from the final episode, and
I
they're
love
talking about their favorite memories from across the whole series. And one of the guys is like, "It's always the goofy stuff when they get to do the weird costumes." And they started showing the season 4 looks that we just watched when they land in Lothal, and there's Zeb in that like messed up headdress or whatever.
a giant
I
banana
love that
hat.
stuff. So stupid. Keenan looks insane with those like bright silver goggles or glasses. Yeah, it's really nutty. Oh, see Spencer joined. Hi, Spencer. Spencer
Hi,
emailed me, or
Spencer.
not emailed me. He texted me at like 11 a.m. and I wrote him back minutes before this, being like, "The con was great." It was
I
like
didn't
that
die.
kind of
It's
day.
cool.
Yeah. Um, I'm definitely feeling it though. I always call this day 6 of the con because you have to do your rack up, your recap. How did you sell? What was working? What wasn't working? What do we think we need to improve next time? We have a big team meeting tomorrow with like all members, all touch points. And so I was piecing all that together today while also just trying to get back to the office on top of regular like run the business stuff.
Yeah.
I got stuff to sell. It's Halloween.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, we're
busy.
busy. Yeah, we're very busy. People are asking me for costumes. Go away. You can't have a costume. If you didn't get your costume yet, that's on you. It's the 10th, man. It's
They have
Indigenous
that
People Days weekend. Most of you had Monday off. Do your shopping.
they have
Go.
that stuff ready in July. Snap, snap.
Let me tell you, I will say this year it did feel like the aisle set a little bit later, and I don't think
Yeah.
it was I don't think it was intentional. I think like stuff arrived late, and also like every season is getting smaller because they're trying to cram in more and more excitement. Like back to school seemed to hit like right as school was starting. Summer, they're trying to stretch summer too because like summer felt like COVID-y, whereas like did we really have a summer? So all of that shifting in the world of like consumer products and then even what your target looks like right now. But let me tell you, those
Hmm.
Christmas trees will be up on November 1st.
Oh no,
November
they're already
1st.
there. They're already there, trust me. It's
Oh,
obscene.
hell no.
Like
No.
like as soon as we got Halloween, well, as soon as I say we, I don't work for them
Yeah.
anymore, but as soon as Halloween started coming in, they had
Christmas
gift
trees.
bags and
Oh,
wrapping paper and tags and
that's not
bows.
okay.
And I'm like, I
Halloween was
see
supposed to
you.
hold the line. The goth kids were supposed to keep us safe. And here we are.
But the
Oh,
thing is, you got like the soccer
yeah.
moms flipping these awesome like Halloween items, and they can't keep them in stock, so they need something to
Yeah.
fill the shelves.
That's true. I will say
So,
it's like it is a little bit of like whatever's in stock makes it to shelf.
right.
It's crazy right now, kids. If you're working in consumer products or retail, it's still like the Armageddon out there. I was telling someone it's
Hmm.
going to be Mad Max until 2024. The fight for shipping containers, like I'm working on my Imperial officer uniforms, trying to fly stuff in because it's like that bad. It's like I can't get containers. It's crazy. Oh, she said Kyber.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
You know what the
So
Empire could do with the crystal?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and at this point, by the way, Ezra doesn't have a lightsaber. He hasn't gotten his crystal yet. We will see that in a few episodes. So he's still fighting with like his, slingshot and his blaster. This is very early on in the season, and he hasn't done his lightsaber yet. But they're planting these seeds about the Empire needing the Kyber crystals for whatever nefarious purpose. And again, like no minutes are wasted, man. Like
Yeah.
no minutes are wasted in this show. It's
And
incredible.
that conversation between Kanan and Hera just goes to show you how much Hera has learned to trust Ezra
Yeah.
in this short amount of time and how much she
Yeah.
believes in him. She knows that what he's doing is important, and she has complete faith that he can do this and he can pull this off in order to prevent the Empire from getting their hands on this weapon.
I
So
have an I have an Andor connection for you that actually comes from Rebels Recon with Hera. Um,
ooh,
in the
Bill.
Rebels Recon finale stuff, or I think it was something in season 4, they were talking about how Hera's the true believer of the Ghost. Like she's the one who like lives and dies for the cause. Like she is the one who believes in the rebellion, and what they're doing is for something larger than her and larger than all of them. So she's the North Star that guides, and she's also really the leader of the crew. Even though people
Yeah.
might assume that like Kanan's in the one spot, like he's very much like following her orders. In Andor, they just talked about like motivations in episode 5 and why are you here and what are you fighting for? And they talk about the young kid who's making the model and he's got his manifesto as being the true believer of the group. And I'm wondering if someone like him, if ever met with Hera, like the conversations they would have,
Yeah.
assuming he survives. Actually, I think he's like number 1 on the death list, unfortunately, for that mission. It makes me too nervous. Like he's young and naive and
He's like Mouse
idealistic.
in the Matrix. Like,
I
dude.
know someone already like pointed out that exact reference. I was like, don't do that to me again. Also, don't kill the ladies. Like, I can't. Like, I really like we kill so many
No
female
fridging.
characters. Yeah,
No more
please.
fridging. I'm
There's also
tired of
like
it.
there's some tension there that the girls might be in a relationship. There was
They
a
are.
little line about sharing a blanket, right?
Yeah.
So it seemed pretty obvious to me. They give each other looks. And one of the guys asks, like, did she tell you the secret about Andor? And she was like, no, she didn't even tell me. And I was like, oh, you have all the secrets then. So
Mm-hmm.
girlfriend. So lesbians confirmed. I found one. I thought it was Mon Mothma, but I think we got 2.
They threw a
Meanwhile,
wrench in your plans. I'm
meanwhile,
sorry.
meanwhile, my husband and I are watching Mothma and the husband and the daughter, and we're both like, these people don't show up in like future movies and comics. Like they're probably dead or missing or kidnapped or something. And we're
Or
like
they
cheering
worse,
them
they
on.
abandon her and they just
Probably
completely that'd be like
they're
worse than death.
terrible. Yeah, they're
Because
so terrible.
they like teamed up on her, and like the husband's useless, didn't even say anything. The
Yeah.
daughter's just like, no, I'm not gonna
Ugh.
do that. No.
And she's just a whiny teenager, I'm sure. Like that seems I'm not a parent, but like that I've watched that on TV enough and I have parents. So in real life I've seen this play out. And I also was a teenager. Like that felt very real. You
I
always
have
have a favorite
5
parent.
nieces.
You
At
know,
least 3 of them are over the age of 18. So
yeah,
I totally know.
you know what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah, I hope the 2 of them remain together. They get reunited after this. I hope no one dies, but I also think, given the serious nature of the show, someone will die. I don't want it to be any of the 2 ladies, and I don't want it to be the
Oh
young
my
kid.
gosh.
So in my
Yes.
mind, I'm like, oh, it's the guy with the tattoos who didn't originally trust Andor, the one who like ripped the kyber crystal off of his neck
Yeah.
after, by the way, showing him his tattoos for quite a while. And my husband
Even
and I are
Moss
watching, and I was
Backrack,
like,
he's
I was,
amazing. I love him.
he's amazing. Yeah, we were like, this guy's great. Also, is he flirting with Cassian? I was like, you can read into everything, right? When you're LGBTQ, you look for little things everywhere. I was like, your shirt's off for a long time. And like talking about tattoos is such one of those things where it's like, let me see your tattoo. It's like such a lead in. But obviously, like this is military. They're talking about like where they served, right? But I just love him. But I think he's going to be the one to get it. I think like he's not going to make it out alive, and then he's going to
Sarah
be like,
says that we thought they turned her in. She's the reason they're the reason she's on the run in Rebels. So
she does
that would be
announce,
insane.
right? And she doesn't have her husband or the daughter with her. I also don't know, like I'd hate for the daughter to end up on that wrong side, but I can see the husband easily. Maybe the daughter just escapes, but I don't remember her being in other media, Mon Mothma's daughter. So
No.
I'm nervous for her. Oh, there's our Inquisitor. Everyone clap for Jason. We love him. That's scary. Imagine being Ezra right now. He's being entrusted with this mission. It's like get out, help this kid escape, infiltration.
Dirty Chopper. He's so dirty. It's that Imperial disguise. What do you paint him with? Like temper paints?
Sabine's got it
'Cause-
all. Yeah. We're gonna watch a Sabine heavy episode right after this. Out of Darkness is
yeah,
probably the best Sabine episode of season one.
it is. Agreed.
You think I've lost my mind? You're probably right. Ezra's so young to be taking on this level of responsibility and to be trusted this much by the ghost. It's really amazing.
Clearly, I've spent way too much time with heroes. Oh,
Mm. Spectre 6 out. Oh, Spectre 6.
he's taking his role as a member of the ghost crew and as the member of this family and part of the rebellion very
Yeah.
seriously here. It's a
Yeah.
huge step up from where he was, and I think all those life and death missions so far in this season have definitely kind of veered him towards like the path of least selfishness.
Well,
Selfishness. Oh my god, I can't even talk today.
in
Sorry.
this production order, we would have just watched the Luminara episode. So that's episode 5,
Yeah.
the Spire prison. And so if that doesn't make you a true believer in that, like the Empire is, genocide, just the worst of the worst. Like, how do
Yeah.
you become radicalized, right? By the way, I think the military guy with the shirt off, who I thought was flirting with Cassian, there's no way that farm flooded if it was a tree farm. That's why he asked what kind of farm it was. It was like a tree farm. Water's helpful. Like, what are you doing? I think that story is a lie. So my feeling is that if anything, he might betray them. I have suspicions. There's something like, why would you ask what kind of farm it is? And why would that be such a stupid answer? If he said he was growing some specific type of fruit, that could also be a thing. Like, does that fruit really grow there? You could see everyone pulling this thread. It's very Mephisto. But like, I feel like I keep thinking about that. Whereas
Yeah.
Ezra is going to become a believer, right? And he's helping these people now, being very selfish, really following Hera's lead on this. Like, he's trusting that she knows what's best for everyone, not just her, not just him, not just this one individual person, but what's best for Lothal. And he has a lot of family and a lot of friends there on Lothal.
And it also kind of helps Kanan kind of see that he's worth training as a Jedi.
Yeah.
And that he's taking it seriously, because Jedi always put themselves last before the greater good, as evident by poor Obi-Wan Kenobi in his entire life. Like, geez.
Poor Obi-Wan. Someone put together the list of all of his friends and how they all met their terrible ends, and like it was one after it was like Satine and Maul and
he
Vader
still kept the faith, though. It's like that's why he's like one of my
Yeah.
favorite characters, because he's so incredibly steadfast, and you
Yeah.
could say it's like beyond stubborn, but yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, what point is like faith and stubbornness at odds with each other, right? I love this because we're going to talk about like breaking protocol to help people, right?
Exactly.
So they're going to get in trouble for that.
And you are not supposed to help people.
Yeah. Everyone's disposable. That's terrible. And they're teaching this to impressionable tweens, right? Like, these are not the lessons that they should be learning. It's really unfortunate. It also shows like just like how cruel the Empire is. It was like, we're gonna let this child die. Aside from the fact that, by the way, he said their training is weeks. If you told me it was like, this is year 1 of your long plan to be a part of like a cadet, like, I don't know what regular military training is, but boot camp is months and months, right? Like, I'm sure we have military people in the
it's like what, a greater part of a year.
Like, yeah, it's a lot. Like, and you do a ton of training. These kids are being thrown out there for weeks, and then I don't know where they're going to send them, but it ain't nowhere good. As we saw in Solo, when he flunked out of the Navy, and it's like, well, go die on the front line in the mud.
In Minbin, yeah.
Yeah, which is maybe where maybe Han Solo and Cassian Andor have met. That would be really neat, as long as I don't have to see it on screen. I don't want to see it, but they can Easter egg that and be like, oh yeah, I met Han, like that jerk or something. Like, he stole something from me.
Blowing stuff up.
Yeah. Loving that for Chopper.
I feel like you know how Ezra has like a penchant for collecting helmets and stuff like that. I feel like this helmet in his collection was important to him because it's like the first friendships that he's formed outside of the Ghost Crew. And
it has real meaning.
And it's that growth, that personal growth. Like, he's stuck his neck out for these kids against the Empire. So it's kind of like, okay, that's a big reason to keep this.
Oh yeah, look, it's no De Novo helmet, but it is the real thing. It's actually the real thing.
Make one, just saying.
Yeah, I'd love to do some more animated projects. Those are tough.
So cool. I know.
Like, You know what I really want to do is we have a Clone Trooper phase 2. I'd love to get to a phase 1, and I'd love to do some of the Clone Wars helmets, like a real Rex, a Fives, a Wolf. I was talking about that to some of the people who came to the booth
Oh,
because, like, the
dude.
kids of the prequels and the Clone Wars are the ones who are now looking for these high-end products. So, um, oh yeah, Sarah's asking if there was an officers academy. There definitely was, and it all
Mhm.
depends on like what part of the military you were joining, right? Like some of these kids are definitely just going to be grunts in the disposable front line shot on the ground, or maybe driving an AT-AT. And then there are going to be pilots, and then there's officers who I think were wealthy people. And
Yeah.
ISB certainly came from privilege. By the way, I'm obsessed with the woman in ISB with the blonde hair and her little gay assistant who was like staying with her to like unclog everything, where she, she's right and no one's listening to her. And my husband and I was like, we don't want to root for her. However, if she kills all the other men in the room, we'd root for her then. So we're very torn about her. We
Yeah.
love her and we love to hate her because she's so
Ezra.
good.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, she's the best.
Hera is just amazing.
An
Like,
incredible pilot,
like I've
like
got
one of the
10 people
best.
on my tail. No
Yeah,
big deal. We're out of here.
I'd put her up against Han Solo at any point. The only really unfair fight for her would be
Oh
someone who's a
no.
Jedi, because like Anakin or Luke, in theory, should be able to tap into the Force to pilot slightly better. And we see it with like even
Like
Plo Koon and
Kanan just did to
yeah,
dock the
yeah,
Phantom
he
into
docked
the
the
Ghost because
yeah,
that
that was
explosion,
amazing.
that Kyber explosion was not good.
So we've already seen Kyber explode, and it was like pretty massive. So yeah, Hera is. There was a shirt for a long time that was Hera is my co-pilot, and I remember that
Why don't
people
I
had
own the
that.
shirt?
I'll have to find it. I'll see if I can find it
Oh, that's
online because
amazing.
obviously it's not licensed. But
Yeah.
it's definitely one where it's like it. I would put her up there with like Chewie and Han above them probably. Wedge, certainly she trained Wedge. Maybe she loses to Anakin. Maybe Plo Koon. Maybe Obi-Wan. Like we'll see. Like the Jedi have that unfair advantage.
Oh no.
Oh, this is not good. This is the first time I think we see like up close helmets of the stormtroopers. Like they're very silly looking in episode 1, in the premiere, but these look really close to model from the movie. Chopper, look at him.
Save your
Yep,
friends.
get out of there. Run, girl, run.
This kid. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. He has to find his sister. Everyone's got a missing person too. Like Cassian's dealing with the missing sister. There's like a dead wife. There's a dead brother, according to the military guy in
The
Andor.
Empire ruins families. That's the
Yeah.
lesson.
How many dead parents can we count? Like, it is unreal. Oh my god, I love that he like misses by a mile, and he's probably still better than any of the stormtroopers. It's a good thing there isn't like CCTV everywhere.
I know. Although
You know,
this
the
worries me greatly.
yeah, the Inquisitor should be able to sense that the child is
Lying.
lying, but at the same time, you could just be nervous because look, I'm around the Inquisitor. I am scared. I am 15. You are horrifying, sir.
Jaquel.
Oh, boy,
You know
he's the
you're
one.
going up against trouble.
Ah!
Don't take a walk with him. No. No, no,
Uh-uh.
kid.
I'm very
Run.
concerned.
Run.
Yeah, very nervous. Yeah, hiding from the Empire. I
Yeah,
will
no,
say
no
the
big
Outer
deal.
Rim. Uh, Ahsoka's on the lam forever, and she's like literally on the most wanted list. Like, girl, this kid is a kid. Like he's a sort of human looking human. It's different when there's like a weird alien species with. I think it would be easier for him to just like hide in the Outer Rim somewhere.
Shanta.
Oh, hello, Kitty.
Yeah. She's here.
That was a really great episode. Better than I
Uh,
remember. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, we are
It's so
officially in
much
the break.
sacrifice.
So we're going to do a Star Wars Rebels Revisited rollout. First, I want to show everyone the shirt I'm wearing because this is the Rebels
Check it
Revisited
out.
in blue in the V-neck. Like I said, it's not an inappropriate length V-neck. Like it's not a deep V or some shit. Like you get a little patch, but like you're good here. Like there's a nice amount of it just
It's very modest.
yes, especially if like this is a men's cut by the way. But like women could wear this and I think not feel like this is like coming too far down or anything.
Mhm.
And again, like man, does it hit the arms? Like
Then
So
it's
like
Blasco show up in here.
yeah, exactly. So it's a nice looking shirt. And with that, we have some winners to announce.
Yeah,
So
you guys. So if you are in the
right.
chats, please stay
Yes.
there.
What we did was we randomly picked comment no, we randomized the number and grabbed that comment number, and we picked both from the Facebook group. So our winners are Sherry Evans Elsburned, am I saying that right? And Jennifer Bergen. Congratulations, you guys! You each get a Rebels
Congratulations,
Revisited T-shirt.
ladies.
That's right. And if you visit our T Public store, and hopefully someone can throw the link into the chat, what we're gonna do is send me the specs that you want. I'll need to know like what color, what cut, what size, and then I'll need like your shipping address. And then I will buy one and mail it to you. Like that's going to be the way we do it. So I just need all that information that we can do through DM. And if you want to send it to me, or if you want to send it to like Spencer or Ashley or someone, we'll have it shipped direct from the T Public store.
Yeah, we'll make
So
sure you get it.
yeah,
Oh my gosh,
yeah, yeah.
congratulations.
Sherry
Thank you
and
for
Jennifer.
watching.
Yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thrilled to have you guys.
And you
Uh,
too will look as good as Mark in this shirt.
That's right. We have so many colors, you guys. There's a yellow and a pink. I love the orange. It's still my favorite. The turquoise looks great. I think we have this pink, like our background right here is
Yeah.
like not that far off from that. There's a purple. There's the green for Christmas. I'm gonna end up doing it. The more
Yeah,
I
you
talk
are.
shit about it, like we're gonna end up getting like a long sleeve for. Oh yeah, by the way, you can do like the heather or like the eco-friendly or whatever else.
Tank
Like,
tops,
yeah, you're not
hoodies.
locked into a price
Yeah.
point or a material type or a size or a color or anything. So design your shirt, and then I'll get it for you in the next like 2 weeks. So I got to go on the site and place my order.
So cool. And yeah, there's a color for every season. Like
It
even the
really
yellow.
is
The yellow looks like a really good summer color.
surprisingly good. Like it
And
looks
I'm not
surprisingly
a
good.
yellow girl, but
No one
I
can
could
wear yellow. Like no one with our skin tone can wear yellow. You have to like have really good,
you have
rich,
to be
dark
tan.
skin. Yeah. In order to pull off yellow. And even then, like it's a lot.
You're pale.
My orange was fine, but I think my
Yeah.
hair offsets that a little bit, so that was helpful. Um, but yeah, yeah, congratulations again. Thank you again for
Yay.
tuning in with us every week and talking about Rebels. Like this is so fun for us.
It is.
So as we're in the break right now, we can
Yeah.
start the next episode at like 9:40 or so, give it like another 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then what else to talk about? We want to hit New York Comic Con a little bit more because Ashley and I did get to see each other in real life on Thursday. We took a
It
picture
was
and everything.
fun.
We walked around. I did all my
Mark got
walking.
kidnapped by bounty hunters. It's
Yeah,
great.
there were a lot of great costumers that came to the booth. I got to display some product. I lost my voice a little, but it wasn't nearly as bad as Celebration. That was
Oh
like
yeah.
a whole like mess where I like couldn't talk on the final day. What else
Oh,
happened? I know
yeah.
you have your Sandman stories to tell. Like you had a day of just like fun at the show. You weren't working at this time.
Yeah, it was stressful at the beginning because of the traffic. We didn't get like parked until like 11 a.m. And that's
Yeah,
when I had my autograph scheduled for. So I had to like transfer my tickets and do it later in the day. And then by the time I got there, like got my badge, thanks to my friend Andy. Shout out Andy. Thank you so much. By the time I got in and got down to the autograph spot, the photo op place, it was 3 minutes to 12, and my first photo op with Tom was at 12.
that's
So I
perfect.
didn't even had time to think. I just went in like,
Yeah.
like
It's
way
sometimes
too
it's better
excited.
that way. The more you think about like the build up, it makes you nervous.
I know
Especially
he's
like
so
when it's someone you
pretty.
really, really love. And we really
Yeah.
don't know if Sandman's going to continue to do the circuit, right? Like if these actors are going to be
Yeah.
pulled into one another season or just
And I
whatever other
really,
content,
really
like they're
hope
going to be in high
like I mean
demand.
I need everybody to spam Rhode Island Comic Con and Fan Expo Boston and get
Yeah.
them to come again
Yeah.
because
I
yeah,
think they
I
would
would
do really well. It seemed,
they
from what I
would.
heard, the autograph hall was highly successful across the board. I did hear there was a
Yes.
slight delay with printing photos with Epic on Saturday, where like printers went down for a minute, and that was a
Yeah.
problem printing.
Hmm.
But like they sold a ton of photos, and I think most people got their prints on Sunday.
Oh
And they're
yeah.
figuring out on how to like deliver prints to people who might have missed it. But like quantity wise and sales wise, I'm hearing excellent things across the board,
Many
despite the fact
sold
that
out
the
in advance. Yeah.
yes. And
Especially like Brendan
weirdly,
Fraser. Yeah.
oh yeah, he's having
And
such the
Oscar
moment.
Isaac.
Yeah, I've Oscar, of course. I have no connections, like I said, but I was like, man, if you're able to like just see that helmet,
So my friend
yeah,
Erin that I mentioned last week, she got to give him an original piece of Poe Dameron art and he loved it. as well as a Moon Knight print, and he signed it for her.
Oh, that's
And
very
then the
cool.
photo op, they're back to back, and she has the biggest smile on her face. So it was totally
Oh,
worth it. He's her favorite actor ever. And
he's so
she's like,
good.
this will be my phone screen for all eternity. And I'm like, girl, I
Yeah,
don't blame you. But it's just so cool that people get to have those moments with these actors that don't really
exactly.
do a lot of conventions, and that,
Yeah,
you know,
Oscar's a get. Like that's a
totally
real
get.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear he was great too at his panel and everyone said he was delightful. And he was joking about Diego being a slut, but he was loyal to Diego. It was very that, right? Like
Pedro
they're
or
best friends.
Diego, there's two of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Because
Oh wait, what
he's
did I
got,
say? Yeah,
you
yeah.
said Diego.
Oscar and Pedro. It's
Yes.
Oscar and Pedro. Sorry. See, Diego has entered the chat though, because someone asked about that. And it was the kind of thing where he was like, oh, it's nothing but love with Pedro. And I was like, well, does Oscar know that? So it's like a whole thing.
Scandalous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Dave, for the kind words. We did record a
That was
lot at the
really
booth. That
cool.
was so neat. I'm posed next to our costumes and stuff. I'll have to like post some stuff to the Facebook group. I don't do a good job of that because I usually just like post when like, hey, our show's coming up on Monday.
Yeah.
But I got to put in my pictures from New York Comic Con and just like, what do we have in the booth? What are some of the fun things I did? We had some great costumes. The Imperial officers look really cool. The
They
Admiral is
do.
like
Oh my God.
amazing.
And
Love
just
that
seeing
thing.
them up close, that high quality, amazing design and tailoring, like you guys, authentic across
Yeah.
the board. Telling you, worth it.
Screen accurate, costume replica. We're shooting for the stars over
And
here.
if you
And
buy them and you hate them, you can send them to me, 'cause
yeah.
I will rock them all day.
I'm weirdly enough doing a photo shoot for like a new Krennic, like we've got a model in who's like actually like kind of tall and sugar daddy-ish with like the salt and pepper hair. And he kind of looks like Ben Mendelsohn. So we're shooting
Ben
him in
Mendelsohn?
the yeah. So that's
Wow.
happening soon. So we'll have a new photography on the website, which is great. But yeah, I'm excited
Cool.
about like these costumes. I wish they would be here because like I
And
can't ship anything,
yeah, that Poe
global
Dameron
shipping
helmet
crisis.
was amazing. I didn't get to try it on, but I got to take some photos and
Mm,
like look at it up close. Like you guys did such a stellar job with it. It's
thank
so
you.
cool looking. So cool.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Dave's saying to get some signatures. I would love to actually have that license, but I don't think that's a thing. But yes, like I think they're highly autographable. I've
A
seen some people
signature
already.
edition.
Yeah. Well, so with the Mandalorian, Latif was there and Brendan Wayne, and someone had a different Mando helmet signed by both of them that looked
Oh
really nice.
wow.
And I was like, oh, imagine it on ours. It's like
Just
not that you need to
saying.
like buy a new helmet and get those autographs again. But that's a great like those are a great cast piece. Like anyone can sign the helmet for the Mandalorian. Like
Oh
he's the
yeah.
lead character on the show. So like you could put any actor on there, which would be
It's
cool.
like the Darth Vader helmets and the Boba Fett
Yeah.
helmets. Like you can have everybody who's played Boba Fett and everybody who's played
Yeah.
Darth Vader on a helmet.
All 45 people for each of them, which is amazing. It takes that many
Yeah,
people to really bring it to life. And then you think about designers and voice actors and everyone who works behind the scenes, prop makers and all of that. Like so many people contributed to Vader
it's
and
a
to
team
Boba.
effort.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like that on all the properties. All right, we better jump into to the next episode. So thank you everyone for sticking with us for another episode. We're gonna do season 1, episode 7, Out of Darkness. Do you want to do our
It's a
countdown?
very big Sabine episode, you guys. So make sure you get it queued up. And we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, this is very heavy. Hera and Sabine. They get a lot of screen time together, just the two of them. And it brings up like the core conflict within the ghost, where it's like, what information do you need at all times? Because Sabine is not a true believer. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
kind of in it because, and we find out later, like she's been kicked out of the Imperial military. She's brought disgrace to her family. She is with them for lack of better options, I think. And she's ready to like revenge on the Imperials, right? Like that's kind of
Right.
her thing. Whereas Hera is at a much higher level of like, we need to free the galaxy essentially from this tyranny. And so there's an information gap. They only get the information they need to execute the mission and nothing else. So nothing leaks. That's really the big conflict of this episode. And you could see it from both of them, like the tension that exists there.
Ezra wants to be a pilot, and she's like, "You fly my ship?" Nah.
No, ma'am. Look, out of the people on that ship who's going to fly, it's going to be Hera, then Sabine, and then maybe Chopper, and then Ezra. Like he is fourth in line, and if there's another droid on that ship, we'll put a different droid in front of Ezra. You see how clumsy he is. he's still figuring this stuff out. He'll eventually become a good pilot, I think, but like we
Oh yeah,
rarely
that
see him piloting
that
the show.
episode with like the Nova and him piloting through that with the A Squadron is just so good. It just
And
goes to
we'll,
show you he was getting lessons from
yeah.
Hera.
And what was that, season 4? Like it takes
Yeah,
us a
that's
while to
season
get
four.
there.
It's a it's a couple years, kid.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave, the six living Boba Fett's. Yeah. So who did we have originally?
Wow.
So Jeremy Bulloch was the probably best known Boba Fett, and he passed away sadly in 2021
Dickie
or 20. Dickie
Beers,
Beers, Return of the Jedi.
Daniel
Um,
Logan.
Daniel Logan from Attack of the Clones, and then of course he
Um,
comes back in the Boba Fett show. Tamora Morrison plays him.
Tamara, yeah.
Obviously in the new Boba Fett show and Mandalorian, and then we have John Morton, who I love. Like he's fantastic, and he played Boba Fett in the Bespin shots. So there's some really iconic photography of him next to Lando, next to Vader. That's oh my god, I just lost it. That
John
that
Morton.
is him. That's John Morton, not Jeremy. Well, that's what's so funny. So Jeremy usually doesn't sign that picture, or at least he didn't, and he lets John sign those. And then he was
Yeah.
very giving too. Like he would go to like Rhode Island and insist that the other three came, and they'd have the team of Bobas, and it would drive up everyone's sales and experience, and the fans get to meet all of them. He was very
Jeremy was a
giving when it
class
came to that.
act. Absolute
Yeah.
class act.
And all the other guys were great too. They were very happy to not just be included, but like keep the legacy alive.
Yeah.
And all had great things to say about each other. That's rare
Oh,
in acting,
Don
you know.
Bees. Forgot about Don Bees. Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
David has Daniel, Tamara, Dickie, John Morton, and Don Bees.
Who's the guy? Yeah, Mark Anthony Austin. I was gonna say he has a three name from A New Hope. Um, he plays him in that like weird added scene in the special edition or whatever, the unnecessary special edition. Which is fine. Like other people like really rail against that stuff. Like take it or leave it. I don't care. Like it's fine. I'll watch it either way. If someone wants to really have that as part of the canon, I'm okay with it. Like it doesn't break anything, you know.
I love this.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah,
you were right, dear.
we barely got any Zeb in the last episode. And
But
he's
he shot
been
those stormtroopers. He got the kids out of there and shot the stormtroopers. So he was important.
that's true. I like his tension with Ezra because it takes a while to really overcome that. Like, and I think some of it is really poking Ezra to see how far he can go, and will Ezra break? Like, because if Ezra's willing to just leave, then he's not true to the cause. And I think Zeb is actually pretty close to being a true believer. Like, if we're going to start like creating a spectrum of where people lie, like he's probably much closer to Hera than he is to like where Ezra currently sits or where Sabine currently sits. Oh, here's our mention of Fulcrum. Okay. Truth in the chat. Who did everyone think Fulcrum was? Did anyone have a thought as to who it would be?
What did you think? Put it in the chat.
Yeah, tell us who you thought. I had two suspicions, and I think they're both relatively obvious. I thought Bail and Leia, and I actually thought at like the finale episode of the season, we'd get a Bail reveal or a Leia reveal. It never occurred to me that it would be Ahsoka. Like there was just I was until I heard online some of the discourse about the cadence and the voice, and I was like, "You people are reaching." And then,
Yeah.
and then it's like, "Oh, look at me being wrong again."
I thought it was Bill and I thought it was Rex.
Oh, Rex! I hadn't thought of that.
Because Rex hadn't been seen up until this point, and we know they were kind of the clones. Obviously, we don't know what happened in season 7 of the Clone Wars because that didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
But I just assumed he was deep undercover, and it kind of did a little bit of that in the Bad Batch when he showed up and the hood, and he was, sneaking around, helping people. So I really thought he was Fulcrum.
I think he's a good option. I think if you're going to start making a short list, like Leia, Bail, it looks like Sherry was thinking it was Leia as well.
Leia, yeah.
The only reason why I thought like it might be Bail more so than her was the age. Like she was still new to this, so it's like too much responsibility for like a kid. And Luke was like not at all included in the rebellion, right? Oh yeah, look at this. Because of their like fooling around, they missed like a critical thing.
Way to go, kids.
Yeah, Chopper's causing chaos, like high chaos. That's Chopper. Zeb, Ezra, and Chopper cannot be on missions. Oh my god, the ladies are so mad. I love this. I love the angry, indignant ladies yelling at the boys. Like this is awesome. So this is why Sabine seems older. She's so much more mature than Ezra, even though they are the same age. She's really been through some stuff, and like this is not a joke for her.
And not only that, she's the daughter of aristocrats. Like she knows manners and her
Hmm.
place in society. So she's got that built in as well.
Yeah. She goes in and out of character types like
Yeah.
quite like she's an infiltrator in a different way. Like she can pretend to be someone, I think, almost better than anyone else. Oh, I love this. The is he just another smuggler like Vizago? Why is there
Yeah.
secrecy? We're fighting against the Empire. So it's like, yeah, I get it. I'd want to know too. But then if you get captured and tortured, you can't give up Mon Mothma or Commander Sato or Bail
Yeah.
Organa.
And you're
Like
a
the whole
kid.
rebellion falls apart. Yeah, you're a child. By the way, they don't care that you're a child. They got the teeny tiny handcuffs and a small prison cell right next to Master Luminara. You can go smell her corpse for the rest of your
They
days.
kidnapped
Like
Grogu and
they
put
sure
him in
did.
the teeny handcuffs.
Yeah.
They're not above a torturing you, kid.
Yeah.
You're a lot more dangerous.
Yeah. And like David said, she's a Mandalorian. I'd be
Right.
scared of her, regardless
Right.
of her age. She will kill you. Weapons are her religion. I like that.
Mm.
I'm curious to see where Mando goes in season 3 because I think we're going to get a lot of this like tension between like Bo-Katan, the armorer. What if we get a live action Sabine?
Oh,
How do they all define what being a Mandalorian means?
seeing Katie on that throne and her wig is so much
The,
better. Oh my God, I'm
the wig
sorry.
is wild. I don't know what to say about that
Oh,
wig.
I saw it at Celebration and I'm like, oh girl, you deserve better. And she is getting better. So thank
the
you for
wig is
that.
better.
Yeah.
As someone who watches a lot of Drag Race, that wig is a little thirsty in season 2. But she sells it. It doesn't matter. They're at war, right? Like no one's got good conditioner.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing some great photos too of Chris Evans in the Captain America wig, and they're like, "That's America's lace front," and it's so funny because like you can clearly see it before they digitally remove all that stuff. Like he's
Yeah.
wearing a hairpiece because his hair is just naturally very short and a lot darker than the blonde that Captain America has. And even his eyes are like a little bit green, which is where that line comes from about him having green eyes, and so he's not perfect.
Yeah,
Um,
that was good old Robert Downey Jr.
yeah, yeah,
ad-libbing off the cuff.
good stuff. Meanwhile, I love that they're on this like effed up planet or planetoid or wherever they are, and it's like clear that there's no one else there, but there's going to be terrible creatures. Like we've seen this horror movie. This could have been one of our Halloween episodes.
Yeah, put it on the list.
Yeah,
No, I love captured. You can't reveal what you know.
yeah, exactly. And it's better that you don't know. I'd rather you just like be like, I know Hera and I know Kanan. Like it's rank and affiliation. Like, what is it? Is that when they teach you if you become a POW, you just name and rank is like all you're supposed to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Oh my God. Get off the planet.
Yep. Oh, here we go. She's giving us her backstory. This is where, she followed orders blindly, and this is starting to feel like that again. So that must be triggering for her.
Yeah.
I want to believe we're doing good and we're making a difference, but it's
And
similar to what
yeah,
she did. Yeah,
she must have horrible PTSD from those times.
I can't imagine. Fully cut off from her family too at such a young age. And knowing her
And then
dad is probably kidnapped, right? Maybe dead. We don't know.
and then that weapon that she had to design to make and they use it against her people, like all of that is enough to be
No.
horrible to anybody, never mind a 16-year-old,
The Duchess, that was the name of the weapon. How effed up is that too? Oh girl. They sometimes like really twist that knife. I was like, look, I've shed enough tears for Duchess Satine. I didn't need that when I watched that. It was one of those moments where I like hit the floor and Jason's like, why are you feeling things? What happened? It was a sentence. And I was like, it's the Duchess, they're talking about Satine, and then she got stabbed by like Sam Witwer, and I'm like, you break down over stupid stuff like that. Right?
It's a cartoon, right?
Yeah, I was like, first of all, how
No.
dare you? Yeah. Davis saying it's name, rank, and serial number. Oh God, there's a serial number. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're dehumanized, right? Like it's the same thing that the Empire does. You dehumanize by just assigning people a number. That's scary.
It is. It's so scary.
Vanessa and Tia are so good in this episode. Really, they get a lot of time to shine, just the two of them. That dynamic. I wonder how they recorded if they were in the studio together.
Oh yeah, I've seen video where they're all in the same room. It's like a big circle, and if they're recording together on that day, they're side by side. So I'm pretty sure that Tia and Vanessa recorded this together because that whole scene with I think it was, where did I see it? It was Maul and Ahsoka, and Ashley and Sam were right by side. So
it makes sense. I mean, these lines have to feed off each other. You need to match each other's energy. Like otherwise it's going to feel like everything's ADR'd. And it seems like they did a lot of group recordings for Rebels, especially in the beginning when there was less secrecy about all the plot points.
And
I've been
I
watching a lot
trust
of
none of these are gonna spill
yeah.
it. They're so good.
Yeah. Oh boy. Um, I've been
Uh,
watching a lot of Rebels Recon. So for everyone in the chat who probably remembers, but when the show was on Disney XD, the Star Wars YouTube channel would put up like a 5 minute, 6 minute video with Andy Gutierrez from
I'm just kidding.
StarWars.com, and they would like recap the episode, give you some behind the scenes stuff, ask Pablo Hidalgo a question from Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and they give you a sneak peek at the following episode. It's a pretty structured format. For these episodes, weirdly, these two, there was like some big panel somewhere where they talked about the process of animation. And so they give this like really broad strokes outline of how do you bring something from like page to screen, and then how do you do like post production and all that kind of stuff. It was really interesting. It wasn't nearly long enough, and it's certainly not like a clinic of any type, but it was very cool to see them like on site at like a university talking about their craft. So I
Yeah,
highly recommend like go in and watch those Rebels Recons. Don't watch the finale though. I was just had it on in the car so I can hear the audio. Like I don't need to see the screen. Like I just, I hear it like a podcast. And I was like ready to cry because they're all talking about how the finale,
I
finale and
know.
saying goodbye. And I was like, oh my God, skip episode, skip, go to something else. Like it
I
was very
watched
that.
that once and I just I
Yeah.
can't.
But those, I miss Andy. I miss my Andy. I miss Anthony. The two of them were
Yeah,
so good. There's someone like in a perfect world, I'd be like, come visit our show if you're allowed to do that.
I know.
Because I think they're so interesting, the two of them. And I don't know
They
if there
are,
are
and
plans for them to come
I
back
miss the
on,
Star Wars show so much.
yeah.
Like that was just
It was lightning
stupid
in a
COVID.
bottle. It was
Stupid
lightning in a
COVID.
bottle. Like I don't know
Like I
why they
love
didn't bring it back.
Kristen. Kristen is amazing
Oh,
and
she's
she's
good too. Yeah.
fantastic this week in Star Wars. But oh my god, Chopper again.
Yeah.
It's like a rodeo bull.
Yeah. Right. Zeb could crush all of them. So it's
There he
like,
goes.
yeah.
These three, come on.
Oh boy, run that diagnostic. Did we check the results? No, because you're fooling around. Like, pay attention to the mission.
Nope.
Yeah. Oh boy, you're just missing the fuel. We're just missing fuel. No big thing.
NBD.
There's a whole episode too where they're trying to steal fuel. That's a recurring theme in Star Wars too. They're always short on fuel and credits and food. Those are really like the big three they chase
It's
after.
part of the rebellion. The Empire has all the money. You gotta
We
steal
have
to
to,
survive.
we have to tell Kaden, but don't tell him it's our fault.
Oh yeah, Catherine, it was great to see them at Celebration, especially Andy. She's gonna be a mom. That's so
Yeah, that's
huge.
amazing. They were so great on the main stage. I had to watch stuff after the fact because again, Celebration was a show I was working
Yeah,
tremendously. I really feel
same.
like I absorbed more at Celebration than I did at New York Comic Con. Comic Con this year, and I'm actually feeling it today. I'm very tired, which is why I feel so calm on this episode, guys. If you're wondering what happened to me, I didn't pop a Xanax. I'm just tired. This is me at a
This is
manageable
post-con
level.
exhaustion right
Yeah.
here, right here. It's just happening.
Yeah, but it was a really great show, but I saw so little of what happened at New York Comic Con.
Well, I'm
But at
glad I got to
Celebration,
break you out and while it was calm and
I got to see some artists. You told me some artist friends too that I need to start following and maybe get some
yeah.
Rebels pieces from people. I'd love to start doing something like that. And I want to get back into like autograph collecting because there are
Yeah.
definitely all these new people from Andor.
And Danny Haas is amazing. He's Ashley's go-to for any Ahsoka pieces and things like that. He's done art on her universe t-shirts that have been in the packs and
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, just really phenomenal. He's had Celebration exclusive pieces. And Erin's up and coming. She's doing such a good job with that. And
That's
um
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
my friend. More people I could talk about. Yuko Smith. He's a friend of mine. He's a phenomenal artist. His technique is so cool with watercolors and ink. Um,
we got to do an episode.
yeah,
Maybe we do an episode that's artist specific. Some of our
yeah,
favorite
that'd be
Rebels
fun.
artists showcase some of their pieces. Maybe bring them on as a
Yeah,
guest. I think that would be really fun. I
that
am a
would be
little bit like
awesome.
con hung. I will say con hungover is like a real thing. Sometimes it's
It is
emotional. Like I don't know if people talk about like the sads
post-con depression.
post con
That's what I call it.
depression. Yeah,
It's
because
like
you're on.
post-Disney depression because
Yeah,
it's different if you like really love going to cons and you're working them and you have that just like
oh yeah.
when you're done.
You know what it is? It's you run on adrenaline and chicken fingers. And and
Or
honestly, like
Korean barbecue bowls
yes, which
in
I
my
had, which was
case.
actually like really good.
It was really
Um,
good.
you know, it is. I'm an extrovert, so which is why I agreed to be on a show like this, right? Like we're talking with people, we're
Yeah.
engaging. Like you know, we do this. I signed up for this every Monday night to be on TV, as it were, right? Like extroverts do this kind of stuff, and I love those first few days where it's like we're chatting, we're talking, we're engaging on Star Wars, we're having like deep conversations. And by Sunday, I was like, all my body parts are broken. So like I'm
Oh
noticing it
my
now,
God.
the age. I was like, my knees hurt, my legs hurt, like my feet hurt. But I still love that interaction. It's just now you come down from it because you're on an adrenaline high. And there's also endorphins flowing all weekend. So the endorphins evaporate and the adrenaline comes down. So it does feel like a
Yeah.
depressive funk. Like it really can feel chemistry wise the exact same way.
Oh, these things are explosive. Don't hide behind them. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I like her plan though. It's like we're just going to
Yeah.
set up waves and we're going to shoot them until they explode. Um,
Oh my goodness.
these little night creature things are scary.
Is that
Oh
where the
boy, there's
title comes
someone.
from? Out of Darkness
What about Out of Darkness?
comes from the title comes from these guys and where they kind of dwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to see some dark side situation happen.
Mm-hmm.
What about Wave 5? We didn't have a plan for Wave 5. And
Yes.
the cure is not another con, Dave.
Yes, it is, Dave. I swear it is.
The cure is me going to sleep at like 10:25.
Okay, so Mark
yeah.
here handed me a box of our Rebels Revisited cards, which I put in with my art prints when I sell them. But there was also like a handful of emergency in there, and that thing like saved my life because I've been like
good.
popping one like every day, and I'm feeling good. So
good. I do a thing where it's like 3 days before a con, I start my emergency on top of my regular multivitamin.
Brilliant.
I mix it in with my water in the morning, and then I
Yeah.
do it throughout the con. Usually just one, because like your body can only absorb so much. You don't need like multiple packets. You just pee it out at that point. But then you continue it for like 3 days after the con. And you really have to like rest your voice, which I'm not doing today. Like even at work, people kept asking me how things
You
were.
have that radio DJ voice going on right now.
It's a little bit deep. It's a little bit bassy. Like imagine if this were my regular speaking voice. Like there's no way. Like this would be oh, there's the slingshot.
Woo!
Oh yeah, it's the kind of thing where it's like I watch it now and I'm like, damn, we should have at least given him just a blaster. Like the slingshot really just ages it down and makes it so goofy. Who's in love with the slingshot? I am not. I want to re-edit the series to remove the slingshot.
I thought it gave him a sense of scrappiness because he probably built that on his own.
Oh, I'm sure. But so replace it. Yeah.
Yeah. And he will.
Yeah, he does. And he gets a lightsaber. It's very exciting. And his lightsaber's killer. That lightsaber blaster combo is one of my favorite all-time lightsabers. I
brilliant.
Just love it so much.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I love mine. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, Ashley got a little package of Rebels related merch, as it were, including one of the Ezra sabers.
So cool.
Yeah, we've got to spread the Rebels love. There isn't a lot of merch out there, so I think that's another episode where we have to just talk merch.
Yeah.
Right now we're sort of in this like we're talking Andor, we're talking building the rebellion, sort of on a path to closing out season 1, and sort of in tandem like closing out Andor. I want to see how that all comes together. And then Bad Batch will start off early next year. We've got a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a good time to be Star Wars. And we have Tales of the Jedi
in 2 weeks or something, right? Like it's really soon. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Although, like I said, they should not be shorts. However, if they are shorts, there should be 100 of them. Like I should be getting these things weekly. I should be getting 3 episodes every week.
3 of the Ahsoka and 3 of the Dooku.
Yeah, so right. But I want 1,000. Like that's the problem. Like I'm a greedy bitch. So I want every Jedi we've ever met. Like where's my
all of them?
You saw that Yaddle's in it, right?
Yeah. Like, now, come on, we know
she's in this, but like again, Baby Grogu. Like we need to connect to his species. Will we be?
And we know Dave. We know there'll be a Plo Koon episode.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, there has to be. He's top of the list for Dave right after Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Dave's right. We're fighting the vast military industrial complex with a slingshot or a bow and arrow in some cases, right? You look at Hunger Games, like that's what it'll be too, right? Like the Armageddon will come with like, Bad Batch. They're using like pretty primitive weapons. Everyone in Andor has like a stick. Like they've got some stolen
blow darts.
Those kids, like those poor children. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Conkers, the droids.
And they all look at Chopper like it's your fault.
I like this moment with Hera and Sabine with like the gaining each other's trust.
And I love her armor in this. Like, it's so cool.
I saw a lot of good Sabine cosplayers.
Yeah,
There were
so
some really
many.
good ones coming through. Yeah. I gave out a few of my cards too for our cards for the show.
Yay!
Not like a ton because again I didn't really walk around. Um, but people will find us I think more at a celebration situation and hopefully at Rhode Island Comic Con, which I'm very excited about. Like that's
Oh
going to be
yeah.
a spectacular show. Well, that is Rebels for tonight, episode 6 and 7. Those were good
Such a good
episodes.
episodes. Yeah.
And
And it's all
early
about
on.
learning to trust people.
Yeah.
Sabine learning to trust Hera and trust in the cause. Ezra learning to be trusted
Yeah.
and to stop being selfish and learn to put himself last before others. So
And not a
very
very nebulous of like faith, trust in the force, but like truly your individual person, right? It's much more
right.
tangible. So we get to other episodes where we talk about trusting the force and like what does it mean to be a Jedi and the path in front of you and all that. But this is very visceral. It's like we have to rescue this kid from the Imperial Academy, and then the other kid like lost his sister. Like it's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah. It's just it's how far are you willing to go to save others before yourself?
Which will be the question on Andor, I think, for this Wednesday. Like, who in that group is true north, dedicated to the cause? Who's really doing it for the paycheck? Because Andor at this point, I think, kind of is, but kind of isn't. I think he's really, other people are like, well, I want to get revenge, or I'm a spy, or whatever. But like,
I think he wants the money, but I think he wants the Empire to pay. Especially, I think he'll probably find out what happened to Marva and the people that he knew and the people that are around him that because of the pre-Moore cops. So he's going to have a chip on his shoulder for this.
We spent some time on Ferrix in that episode. It was quick, but it looked like they were just taking someone's apartment building, like the full building, and we're like, oh, that's your hotel now. So all those people are being displaced, right? So the Imperials are coming in. They were cleaning up the wreckage, like the burnt wreckage of that racer. They were bringing in all of their military people. And the one guy was like, I don't care how you get it done. He said, like, I was like, oh, can I be a prefect? And he's like, you can dance in a ball gown. Just get it done. Like, it's very that, get me the results. Like, this building is yours. We're homelessing all of these people. They do that in Rebels all the time. They're constantly kicking people out of their houses.
Yeah, Tarkin Town.
Their land. Yeah, exactly. That's a big thing in Rebels. And I think, like, it's a pretty serious, weighty issue for kids, which is why they probably don't spend a ton of time on it. But like we're gonna see it in Andor, and I think.
But like, when they do handle it, it's handled tastefully. It's not like it's like textbooks in middle school. Like when you hear about like all of the Trail of Tears and everything. So
yeah, exactly. I'm very excited about what we're going to see on Andor. Obviously, this is not the closing episode of this particular arc. I believe it's. Oh wait, it is, right? It's 3 episodes times 4 arcs. That's the way this is structured. So this little particular. Like the heist should be this week, right?
Yeah,
like, it should be Wednesday, and we should see who lives, who dies, do they succeed? I think they're going to get the payroll. I feel like we need it. We got the coaxium in Solo, which was super important. I feel like if we didn't get the payroll, it would be it would be like, why'd we spend all this time? Like it would be. I think for the fanboys would lose their mind, and I would have to actually probably agree with them, which I don't like doing. Can we shuffle over to She-Hulk for a second?
Yes.
Because that's the finale of that is this week. And man, did they go all in on like calling out douchey fanboys. Like I loved it.
Did. Oh my gosh. All those problematic sites, the dark web, things like that. But also like
the revenge
videos are like the absolute worst. And it's different to see that handled by a superhero show because I don't think we have before.
No, this seemed really egregious and like invasive,
But also like She-Hulk herself has always been like an affable lawyer and an affable superhero, and in this episode at least. But now people are starting to see her as the monster that they saw Bruce as to start with.
Yeah, they baited her, and she like
totally
punched that wall. She attacked that guy who deserved it, but like she let him go.
But they let him go. Like,
and he just ran into the crowd. I was like, the police.
Damage Control was more concerned with stopping her than stopping the cause of the problem.
That's going to be the big conflict in the final episode. That's going to
bite them in the butt big time.
I think Charlie Cox should come back and defend her in court.
Yes, and can we just say how the world's first superhero walk of shame.
Oh my God,
It's
yes.
freaking hilarious.
Charlie Cox and his
Charlie Cox is a
bare
gem
feet.
of a human being,
Yes.
and it's
He
so
was
good to
so
see him
good
on
in that
this.
episode. I
And
love
they're
that when he
so
was like,
cute, like little flirting and stuff like
yeah.
that. So
Good
I don't
on
know.
her. We were joking about that. We're like, yeah, he's coming to visit on the West Coast. What did she say too? It was a satisfying conclusion. I was like, girl, this is on Disney
Hmm.
Plus. I
This is
was
as
loving it. I thought,
satisfying a conclusion as you're gonna get. It's
yeah,
like,
they did a really good job with his character. It like stayed true
yeah,
to the comics and the prior show while also being really goofy the way that like this show is meant to be with breaking the fourth wall
yeah.
and
And everyone's saying that Daredevil doesn't do this. Did you not see the 2003 movie where Matt was kind of a player? Did you not see Daredevil season 2 where Matt had a lot of ladies?
yeah,
Just
he's the
saying.
slut. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
So
this ain't out of character for our
well,
boy Matty here.
there are people zooming in on his feet though. That's what we're gonna see on Twitter. It's like, oh my God.
Oh
The walk
man.
of shame is great though because it's a reverse, right? Usually it's the woman leaving, carrying her heels,
Yeah.
carrying his
And the
boobs.
little like
Yeah,
the courtroom drawing at the end where he's just like whistling and Ginger's
yeah,
like, oh hey, like
it's very cute.
very
Oh, good
cute.
night, Catherine.
Good
See you
night,
next week.
Catherine.
Oh, I do want to address the doubloons because that made me crack up. Sarah, you were right. Like, what is the deal with like physical payroll? Because everything should be
Yeah.
credits, but I wonder if this is like the equivalent of having gold backing your valuation. So if the gold
Yeah.
isn't delivered, your valuation is not there. The banks, like there's a whole banking system. I don't understand how economics works in Star Wars or Star Trek for that matter. But
Nope.
like Star Wars is particularly complicated with the banking clans and everything else. And it does seem like those poker chips like are some type of physical thing that is probably backing the currency. And if that currency gets if those chips get stolen, can they not make good on the currency? I would say like no, because like they're nefarious and they should just be like money laundering and like inflating their own currency.
Yeah,
But like they probably physically owe stuff to like terrible people. I would think. I
exactly.
don't know. But you're right,
It
it's weird. Like why are
it
we
is weird.
rescuing poker chips? Like
The
hmm,
whole I don't feel like the whole money thing and how it's different variations of it was really addressed until the Mandalorian. Like you have the Mon Calamari flan, you have
yeah.
the Imperial credits, you have the Republic credits, you have uh, yeah, it's just you don't it's like world money but
Yeah.
defunct world money, so it's weird. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. I know we're
Yeah.
nearing the end, but I did want to land one more point on Andor. I think the character to keep an eye out, there's two of them. It's Denise Go as Deirdre, and then Kyle Soller as my future husband. Who's in a rut right now and in a feud with his mom that is like
Yes.
so uncomfortable. Why was that like scarier than going up against a TIE fighter? Which
Oh
how
my
much was
God.
that like a police drive-by just to like terrorize people? It felt very that like just
Yeah.
driving through like the rough part of town or something to like scare people. It felt
Putting the
very like
lights on when people cross the street kind of deal.
yeah, it was
Yeah, that
very
was
exerting
really
power.
horrible.
Yeah, you could see I see it in New York all the time.
But when they
But
were, I guess when the lieutenant is talking to one of his officers and he's mentioning the eye, and it's like, oh, I would love to see it. It's like, well, why are you driving these people out? If you
mhm,
would love to see something that they hold so
yeah,
sacred and you think it's like a once in a lifetime thing or it's an amazing thing you want to see, don't ruin it for their people.
yeah.
Like it just made
The
me so mad. I'm
Well,
sorry.
this brings up the, that one officer who's like looking out, being like, "Oh, are they really going to destroy all this?" He has no say in that. He's in the military, and it's like, well, it's not up to him. It's up to
Yeah.
like the emperor and whoever else and his higher ups, the Moffs, to be like, "Oh yeah, we're going to put like a training facility here for pilots or whatever it was."
I
So they're
honestly
destroying all those
think
mountains.
the emperor could care less. He's just
Yeah,
letting he has his goals. He knows what he wants to do as long as everything is under his control. He doesn't care what the empire does with the natural resources.
exactly.
He
Strip it.
just
Yeah,
don't care. He wants control. And a lot of the damage that is done by these imperial officers and
who
these
are
imperial
too
soldiers.
aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so case in point, Denise Go, who plays Deirdre, my new obsession, the one who's
She's
staying late, drinking her
cute.
calf and whatever pills she took. It was probably a Tylenol and a coffee with her assistant, and they were going to look at some extra reports. And she was like, this is how I would do it. It was like widespread. And he's like, it's too random to be random. Everything about that, they're uncovering the mystery. And there are all these places that were name dropped, like Hosnian Prime and Jakku.
Yeah.
Like they're onto
That
something.
was
My suspicion,
awesome.
here's my thought. I'm gonna throw another big swing. I think she comes to our side when she finds out they're making a weapon of mass destruction that could blow up a planet because she didn't sign up for that. She's here to like control the population and to be in charge of stuff and make sure rules are followed, but she's not about to genocide a planet. Like I don't think she's
Exactly.
evil. I think she is ambitious. And I think Kyle Soller imagine the two of them actually meet and figure this out, then
Hmm.
would be interesting rebels. Like I think that would be really cool. Yeah,
That would
Space
be
Ellen
really cool.
DeGeneres. I love her. She looks so angry. Oh my god, when she's like the collar. Oh, and they give her some like I think they add wrinkles because she's got this frown on her face where she's intentionally like pushing up like something where she just looks like pained in that
She's like,
moment. It's just like, oh yeah, look, I feel that's how I feel today. I feel real greasy and wrinkly, like post show. So post convention.
you need a bath and some
Yeah.
salts.
Exactly. And some sleep. That'll be the next plan.
Yeah.
Well, let's tell everyone what's coming up. If I could remember.
So,
Yeah. So today we watched episodes 6 and 7. That was Monday the 10th, Breaking Ranks and Out of Darkness. And we did cover New York Comic Con for the most part. We probably have some more to talk about next week. I feel like it's going to bleed over. We announced our t-shirt winners. Yay. So hopefully we'll get t-shirts out in the next couple weeks. So for the winners, please just email. I think it was Spencer or Jeff. One of them asked for their.
yeah, Jeff.
Yeah. Great.
So contact Jeff. He will
Yep.
make it happen.
I got Sherry's info already, so Jennifer.
Excellent. Oh, amazing.
Cool.
Good. I can do that this
Yay.
week. And then next Monday, join us for season 1, episodes 9 and 11. The reason we're skipping is we've already watched 8. That is Empire Day. We did that on July 4th. And we're going to talk about the next episode of Andor, where I'm sure there's going to be a lot to discuss. And then the following 2 weeks are going to be great. We're going to do an Ahsoka show, getting ready for Tales of the Jedi. And then we've got our Halloween Spooktacular on the 31st, where we're going to dress up. And we encourage all of you to, well, I guess it doesn't make sense for you to dress up. We can't see
It's
you.
a pre-record, but yeah, it'll
That's
be
right,
good.
yeah.
If you guys are dressing up in any Star Wars costumes, please post it in the group.
Yes, post it in the chat or in the group. We definitely want to see that.
We would love to see it.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
And
and Jen sent her info too. Yay.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen.
Yeah. Post that in the group too. Once your t-shirts arrive,
yeah,
make
we want
put a
to
little photo
see
shoot in
what
there.
colors you chose, what cut you chose.
Yeah.
How awesome you look in it.
What color everyone went to. That's really the big question. I'm telling you, that orange is like it was great.
It's beautiful.
So that's our plan coming up. We've got some good Rebels watch along stuff, some Ahsoka discussion, a Halloween show. It's a busy time.
It's a good time. It's a good time. And the spooky season is upon us. So looking forward to getting down to Disney World and Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
That's right. You'll be there in a couple weeks.
Yes.
Yeah,
actually 10
awesome.
days. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm very excited for you.
There, so
yeah. All right. You'll have to give us a full report. We'll make sure that we do that on the show. As soon as you're back, we'll cover that on our show.
Cool.
And with that, I think we're going to say goodnight to you guys. Thank you again for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, guys. Thank you for participating in our giveaway. We really appreciate you and for watching with us. Like, it's so good to be able to discuss the things that we love about Rebels with you guys and have you guys relate. So thank you.
All right. Bye, guys. May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. Bye.